today with Tijen Onaran. She is founder of Global Digital Women. Welcome. And you have for yourself a big goal, I think, which is to make the world more digital and female.
Yes.
How are you going to go about this? I mean, you're fighting on two fronts, it sounds like.
I know, but the best combination ever. My background is in politics, so networking and empowerment have always been an important part of my life. And so, and when I was 20, I ran for parliament. So I learned a lot about networking strategies and the power of community. So I think
politics.
And politics, political answers. And I think that's the base for my work today, because I realized that you need a really strong network for your career. And this is the networking part of our work from Global Digital Women. And then I realized that digitization is a very huge topic.
Where does digital come into this? Why is this combination so important?
Because there are a lot of studies which have shown that when you have a diverse team, you are more innovative. And I would add you are more digital. So I think to become a digital champion as a company, as a small company, or also as a big company, you need a diverse team, a diverse workplace. And one part of diversity is gender. And I focused on gender because I had a lot of strong female leaders in my career path. So I decided to focus on that part, and maybe one time I will focus on other parts of diversity. But for that moment, diversity for me means gender in terms of Global Digital Women.
And so what earlier, again, going back to the digital, but the tech aspect of it, but why digital, and how does that make your work better?
I think when you see companies have a lot of challenges with digitization, because there are a lot of topics like big data, AI, blockchain, and I think for that you need diverse views on that. Not only one view of one gender or one background, you need a diverse view on that to have the best results for digitization, also innovation. And that's why I think that now it's the best part to become a diverse company, and you have to become a diverse company to become a digital champion in these times. So,
and do women have? Do women bring something different to the digital world? And in what respect?
That's always the same question. I would say, I'm
a woman. I'm curious. What am I bringing to the digital world?
You are the best. Now you are at the best time now. Here you have good qualities. But I think women bring a diverse view on digitization, and we talk about new work culture in companies. We talk about democratic structures in companies, and therefore you have to work in teams, not only for yourself. And I think maybe it's kind of a stereotype, but sometimes stereotypes are really true. But I think women bring this team player skills with it, and I would say that's why it's now the perfect time to make a career in the digital workspace when you are a woman. So,
well, you mentioned AI. For example, is there a female perspective on this?
I would say yes, because when you have a look on the digital workplace now, maybe you recognize there are a lot of men doing AI stuff, also blockchain stuff and big data. I think it has to do with their tech background, starting in university, starting also maybe in school.
There's more
with
men
that.
that go into the STEM fields.
But when we want to shape our world like in a diverse place and for a democratic place, you need the view of women there. So that's why I fight for them.
How do you get them in there, though? You know, that's always also the big question.
Yeah. We have 3 strategies. The first one is the networking part. I mentioned it before. We organize some meetups in Germany, in Switzerland. We are now going to start in London. So we talk about digitization and the career path from different women, also from entrepreneurs, but women from mid-sized and large companies. The second part is one really important part. We want to gain more visibility for the women, because there are some women making and shaping tech, but we have to make them visible. We have to give them a voice.
So this is our part. Who comes to mind?
Yeah, I don't know if you know, maybe someone who, like Janina Kugel, she's part of the board from Siemens, and she's a very strong woman. And she shapes digitization in her workplace with the HR focus. And it's also a part of digitization. I think digitization is not only coding, it's the whole topic, like new work, like marketing also, but also maybe only the tech focus. So we want to keep all these different women from different companies with different backgrounds. We all want to bring them together. So through networking and visibility and empowerment.
And empowerment.
Yeah.
And what? So are these the challenges, if you turn that around, are these the challenges that women in digital are facing? A lack of empowerment or a lack of leadership, or what is it?
Lack of visibility, I would say. That's why I fight for more visibility for them. I say to them, okay, you have to first empower yourself. You have to become a role model, use the social media channels. You need a Twitter account, you need a LinkedIn account, and you have to tell and share your story. Yeah, this is the self-empowerment part. And the other part is what can companies do? And I think they have to create rooms, diverse rooms for these diverse perspectives, and they have to push especially women to become leaders in their companies.
One of your sponsors or one of the partners that you're working with is Amazon.
Yes.
Which, I mean, was it a conscious decision to say I want to connect with a big tech giant in moving forward?
Yeah. So they contacted us. They said, okay, yeah, you do a really good job. But I see we want to bring all the companies together, not only the tech companies, tech companies, also the companies who are on the way to become the tech companies, like mid-sized companies.
And this is in Germany, right?
Yeah,
Amazon
in Germany, yeah. But also now we are going around the world, and we want to connect with the companies also in other countries. But I think the tech companies are the first mover, I would say. But we have to get in contact with other companies as well, like mid-sized companies. We have so many hidden champions in Germany. But they wanted to become digital champions in their field. And that's why I wanted to create a very diverse community, not only one focusing on one industry or one part.
Understood. Yeah. And is your project with Amazon then going global? I wasn't clear.
Yeah, one part is starting in Germany, and maybe we can do another project. We are going to start in London. I mentioned it before, and maybe
they can. About that.
Yeah, very excited. Yes. And maybe they can host an afterwork. This is kind of a meetup of us, and I think we can work on strategies together. Yeah.
Earlier you mentioned digital leaders. What makes a good digital leader?
Forward thinking in teams, acting in teams, working in teams, implementing good working culture, what means supporting a diverse team culture, working with diverse views and accepting when somebody says, oh, that was not good. And I think that's changing, and I see that when we work together with companies, they do a lot of things to change this work culture. They have like nights in their companies where leaders talk about failure. So I think this is a big point, to share some failure situations, and this is really good because it's kind of a human being.
But what makes that digital as opposed to just a leadership approach?
I think the digital part is more the mindset part, and also thinking how you can work with digital tools to have a good team and to work together with them. Like maybe you have to use digital tools like Slack or whatever, and you have to know these tools to implement them in your work. So that means for leaders, you have to also get more digital competences. Yeah, and that's why I think not only the mindset part, also the tech part, to understand what does it mean when I code something. You have to understand the language of your IT department and also of your marketing department, because we work in cross-department teams. And so I think that's a good digital leader.
As we look forward, what are some of these trends in digitalization that are catching your eye?
I would say there are two trends. We have definitely new job profiles. So you need to gain, you need to get more skills in digitization, not only coding, like I mentioned before, thinking out of the box.
New skills.
Yeah,
I mean,
new
up
skills.
to this point, maybe non-existent. It's not something you could study before.
No, new skills. You have to understand the language of coding. Yeah, so I think, and that's why I tried. I coded my first website for Global Digital Women at myself, and it was so horrible. So, but it was a good learning for me. Yeah. So I think that's also a good advice for all the people out there. So you have to learn the language of coding. You have to learn the language of digitization. So that's the first one. And the second one is you can create your own job profile. So when you get these competences, you can go to your boss and say, okay, now I need a new job profile. Now I have these skills and my team member is missing these skills and maybe I have to get a new position and of course, new money, a lot of more money. And I think that's kind of a career motor, so let's say. And I would say that's a huge chance now.
As we look at future generations, I mean, my kid's going to have to study coding. I mean, should they have to?
It would be good, but I think it's not the point. I would say they have to understand what coding means and what coding means for AI, what coding means, what is blockchain, what is big data, and what is big data in a big company, but also what is big data in society. So there are a lot of differences, and you have to understand these topics.
Who do you think is really doing it right in terms of a woman in tech? If you look around and you're like, I want to be like her when I grow up.
I would definitely say Melinda Gates. She's really a huge role model because she founded this female fund. So she's investing in female founders. And I thought about making a similar thing maybe. This is one of our plans to create a female fund. And she uses her voice and also her network, and her platform to push especially women. And she published a lot of articles, and I'm so inspired by her, really. Yeah.
To wrap it up, one of your inspirations, as I understand it, is actually your mother.
Yeah, my mother is a big inspiration because she told me, okay, you can do everything, and if you fail, then move on. So, and I think she gave me the self-empowerment part. That's why I think, or why I want to inspire others to be confident, because confidence is something, the environment will not give you the confidence. You have to start with your own confidence. And I can work as Global Digital Women together with you on your confidence, but it's only a kind of a platform. The first thing is you, and then connect with others to be inspired. And that's why I'm so thankful to have such a great mother. She's so cool.
And you also learned how to pitch, as I understand it, right? And how to sell your ideas from her.
I think from her, but also the most part was in politics, because when I was 20, I was candidate. I was really young, and all the other candidates were so old, and I was like, oh my God, and speaking in front of a big audience, public speaking, and working on your own personal brand. What is your topic? What do you want to become an expert in, and so on. And it was kind of a challenge. It was kind of an assessment center, but it was really good base for me. And now, I feel also very excited sometimes, but I have the self-confidence, and I want to create a platform where all the women can practice their speaking, they can practice their thinking, their arguing, and so on. And I think that's why we really do, I can say this, that's why we really do a good job. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
It was lovely
for
having you.
Me. Thanks.